Welcome to Bus Driver Life. Did you know that we live in a world where a public transit bus driver who's operating a public transit bus can pull into a bus stop, a person can crash into the back of the bus, and people will still try and blame the bus driver? And yes, believe it or not, buses get rear-ended all the time. And a lot of times, it's at bus stops when they are sitting at a designated bus stop, a clearly marked bus stop. Some bus stops are not clearly marked, though. Sometimes you can't even tell it's a bus stop. Sometimes us bus drivers can't even tell some bus stops are bus stops. But still, it happens. Here's an example in New York. Take a look at this. Look at this. You see this? Like, that bus was minding its own business, and then a car smashed into the back of the bus. And now, there's a fire. There could potentially be injuries. I hope everyone's okay in this situation. I'm not trying to make light of it, but just giving you an example of stuff that really happens.
I'm not sure I'm interested in that.
But now, let's take a look at a situation that actually happened here in Sacramento, California. It wasn't my bus, but it was clearly one of my coworkers. Check it out. So as you can see, the incident is involving a bus, an SUV, and a bicycle, and the driver was transported to the hospital in this situation. And this happened around Watt and Orange Grove Avenue. I actually drive a bus in that area, the Route 1, so I'm always over there. And people drive really crazy in that area. As a matter of fact, like recently, there's been a lot of accidents and a lot of injuries in that area. So it's kind of dangerous. People are not paying attention and everyone's in a rush. So allegedly, the driver that crashed into the back of the bus, and I guess a bicycle as well, they were distracted. And there's been a lot of cases of that just here in Sacramento where there have been people that have been distracted that will crash into the back of a bus that is parked at a bus stop. Like the bus is not moving forward or anything. It's there serving passengers. Someone's not paying attention and bam! So here's the very interesting part where the bus driver was blamed. This is a comment that was left on this video, and clearly, it was caused by the driver in the SUV being distracted. But this is how somebody interpreted this situation. And they said, "I swear those buses are rolling traffic hazards. They don't signal before slamming on their brakes 10 feet from the bus stop. I swear it's a challenge for them to see how fast they can stop at every bus stop. Then they just pull out in front of you like you weren't even there." And yeah, there probably are some bus drivers that don't signal into a stop, but sometimes I guess, most of the time we're in the money lane. We're in a very right lane, the far right lane, because that's where the bus stops are going to be at least in the United States of America. Elsewhere, it's going to be on the left side. But here's on the right side. So if you're already in the right lane and the bus is in the right lane, then some drivers may not signal because they're actually not going anywhere, but they're going to stop at the bus stop. But just to give people some sort of signal to what you're going to do, four ways, turning your four ways on is a good idea. A lot of transit systems actually require that. And you could do a right turn signal as you're approaching a bus stop. But also, if the bus is stopping, the brake lights are going to come on. At least they're supposed to. Here's the thing also, though. It's pretty much common knowledge that public transit buses, the city bus, is going to stop frequently. They're also going to be going a lot slower than other traffic, typically. Even if they are up to speed, like the speed limit is 40. In my bus, I'm doing 40. Most cars are doing like 60. They shouldn't be, but they are. So what you should do is not follow closely behind the city bus. Don't do that. That's not smart. So someone actually responded to this comment and they said, well, buses stop at bus stops and they are huge vehicles. I think that if you're having issues with buses, maybe stop driving. So yeah, I appreciate that response, and it's true. Buses do stop at bus stops. So don't follow closely behind us and always expect us to stop. And sometimes we have people cutting in front of us. Sometimes we may have a situation on board the bus that will cause us to have to stop suddenly. But you can't get mad at a bus for stopping at a bus stop. And if a bus is stopped at a bus stop and you crash into the back of the bus, you can't blame the bus or the bus driver. This subject actually reminds me of an interaction that I had with a passenger some years ago. I was at a red light and this passenger had requested the next stop. So we're all good. But then he walks up to me and says, "Hey, just let me off right here." And I'm like, well, I can't let you off right here because first I had traffic to the right of me. It was a right turn only lane to the right of me. So there were cars going through there. And I had traffic to the left of me. So I couldn't just let this person off. It was not a designated bus stop. The bus stop was across the intersection. So it was a far side bus stop. We call it a far side bus stop if it's past the intersection. We call it a near side bus stop if it's before the intersection. At least here in Sacramento, and I'm pretty sure at many other transit systems as well. Anyway, he's like, yeah, just let me off the bus here. And I was like, well, I can't let you off there. There's traffic to the right. If I open the door and let you off, and you get hit by a car, that's on me. Or if I let you off the bus and as you're stepping off the bus, somebody crashes into the back of the bus, once again, that's on me for allowing you off the bus in a place that's not considered safe. And he's like, okay, now you're just making SHIT up. Nobody's going to run into the back of a bus. Who's not going to see a bus? And after that, I was done with the conversation. I didn't say anything else. There was no need to go back and forth because he was not going to agree with me or be like, oh, you know what? That makes sense. You might be right. No, I was wrong in his mind. So I guess in a sense, this video is dedicated to that person, even though that person will probably never even see this video. I have no clue where that person is at. I don't even remember what this person looks like, but I do remember that conversation.
I know I'm coming. They know I'm coming. I know they gonna be there. And they know I'm gonna do the best job I can possibly do.
It is very important. I wanted to share a message with you today. It's very important for everybody on this bus to understand the driver who operates this bus is a member of your community and respects you in the same way they would respect their own family. It is important to us, the union, that that same respect is given back to the driver. A lot of times the transit authority has done a masterful job at turning the general public against the people who operate the bus. If there's a shortage in service, if there are delays, it is directly correlated to transit's inability to provide you with better service. The driver just wants to make it home the same way he left, the same way you do. If the driver's not safe, neither are you. We have to find a way that we can work together and try to get a better transit system. I appreciate your time, and I appreciate you giving the driver the respect.
I'm a real life bus driver, see? And I approve this message wholeheartedly.